So I would like to thank for inviting me here in this forum, and I think it's nice that we started this evening with a teaching from the Catholic Church. So my topic is Laudato Si, and I would like to focus on Laudato Si goals and the PAREX project. No, as we know, Laudato Si was uh, published by Pope Francis in 2015. And this Laudato Si has, this encyclical is love letter to the world, regardless to the world, for everybody in the world, regardless of faith, color, and age, because he's, he believed that we share in this one common home. We all have one planet to live. So as we know that Pope Francis got his name from Saint Francis of Assisi. And what inspired him is that Saint Francis of Assisi has tremendous love for God, for humanity, for creation. And that is why this encyclical that he published in 2015 had this title from the Canticle of Creation of Saint Francis of Assisi, Laudato Si Mi Signore. But it has second title on care for a common home. So the encyclicals develop around the concept of integral ecology as a paradigm able to articulate the fundamental relationships of the person with God, with oneself, with other human beings, and with creation. So what is being, if you read Laudato Si, which is one of the longest encyclical, it has 6 chapters. This is very holistic and very precise in its call for integral ecology. Okay. Now, this Laudato Si has been summarized, I should say, summarized in this Laudato Si goals. And the goal, these goals will lead us to integral ecology. Okay, so and this 6th chapter is also described in these goals. The first goal is we are invited to respond to the cry of the earth. The cry of the earth, meaning the disasters, the sufferings that we human beings had inflicted upon the earth. And we are asked to respond, to do something to restore, reinvigorate, to repair. No? And then the second goal is to respond to the cry of the poor. When the earth is devastated, when the earth is suffering, the poor are the most vulnerable. The poor who do not have the capability to bounce back after a calamity, after a disaster. And then we are invited to practice ecological economics. And we ask now, with these first 3 goals, is PAREX responding to the cry of the earth? Is this project responding to the cry of the poor? Is this really ecological? Is this a representation of an ecological economy or economics? So that's a question for these 3. And then the next goal is inviting us to adopt a simple lifestyle. Will PAREX encourage people to simplify our lifestyles? Isn't it going to encourage more people to buy cars because it would be making travel easier, shorter? And then we're invited to respond to ecological education. What kind of education will this PAREX project be giving to the people? Will it educate people to take care of Pasig River when in fact we are actually destroying it by constructing this PAREX on top of the river? Will it also encourage people to ecological spirituality, develop ecological spirituality? As we know, Pasig River, along Pasig River, there are a lot of Catholic churches and other churches, places of worship, places of meditation. Because the other speakers have already shared to us in the previous sessions, the usage or the services that Pasig River has given to the localities or even to tourists in the past. And then we are also invited and requested for community engagement and participation and action. So we in the church, we people in this planet, because you only have one common home, we need to participate. We need to give our share, lend our voices to these concerns, especially that this project that we are having now is not actually, as I see it and as I reflect upon it and really evaluate it, it is not consistent with the call for integral ecology. And Pope Francis is inviting us. He said, discerning a response to ecological crisis is a profound act of care. Are we aware, or do we agree that we are indeed having already this ecological crisis? And in fact, we are experiencing now, and has been also told to us by the scientists, that we have climate emergency. So at this Kairos moment, action is needed. The Laudato Si goals guide our actions to redefine and rebuild our relationship with each other and our common home. So we have to reflect on this aspect. How are we relating with God's creation? As we relate with God's creation, we also relate with God. If we respect God's creation, we respect God. If we respect the purpose for which Pasig River was given to us, then this care for our common home should be seen by carrying, reviving, and restoring lives in Pasig River. Their holistic approach acknowledges the planetary limits of all socioeconomic systems and the human roots of the ecological crisis. They call for a spiritual and cultural revolution to realize integral ecology. So Laudato Si is actually calling all of us, all the citizens of this planet, to integral ecology. So, when we try to reflect on ecological economics, we acknowledge that economy is a subsystem of human society, which itself is embedded within the biosphere of our common home. Economics and economy is part of who and what we are. But then we are encouraged, or we are, I should say, mandated, since we are now suffering from this ecological crisis. We have no choice, but our actions should include sustainable production and consumption. So Christmas is coming. It is a tempting situation for everybody to go shopping. And you know, with the project, this PAREX that is being planned to be built on top of Pasig River, is also another temptation that would otherwise be entice people to do and to live a sustainable lifestyle. Ethical investments. is building PAREX, an ethical investment on the part of those who are going to invest there. When I say ethical investment, how many people are we going to displace? What would be the impact of this kind of investment? Not only to those who are living near beside the river, but also the tributaries, those connected to all this, and the whole Metro Manila and the system itself, the river system itself. The investment from fossil fuels and any activity harmful to the planet and the people, supporting circular economies and prioritizing care, labor, and protecting the dignity of workers. Maybe it would be good, it will invite everybody to examine in the light of this statement of Laudato Si. If this PAREX, which will cost billions, if not or how many millions of pesos, hundreds of millions of pesos to be constructed, aside from the fund that would be used should be put into more productive use, what would be its impact versus the benefits that they are saying for those who are using cars. So to make these Laudato Si goals, to implement these Laudato Si goals, everybody is invited, all sectors, because as we know, we only have one planet, one common home, and therefore we all share a responsibility. For this year, because this is a 7-year program, families are invited to respond to the 7 Laudato Si goals. All parishes and archdioceses, educational institutions, hospitals, or healthcare, those who are in healthcare, those who are in business, organizations, religious orders. So everyone has a responsibility to take care of this common home, because this is not only for us during this present generation, but we have other generations to think of. So Pope Francis believed that bringing the whole human family together is important, for we know that things can change. So this forum is bringing us all together, and we hope for change. The change of mind of those investing for this PAREX. We have to appeal to their conscience. We appeal to their sensibilities. We are going to respond to the call of Laudato Si with profound care for each other and all creation as we are building a better future together. And then we ask, will PAREX build a better future? Thank you.